Here are 10 things Michael Jordan fans do when cornered in the debate. Number 1. They accuse you of being a LeBron James fanboy or a LeBron sexual, and they point that to as if why you hate Michael Jordan. Next, they will try and change the topic of what you're talking about. This has happened in multiple instances, from watching Universe Galaxy on YouTube, and when he's debating Michael Jordan fans, and he has them cornered in the debate after asking them a tough question, they don't know what to say, they get confused, and they try to change the topic. For instance, if a Michael Jordan fan goes on Galaxy's podcast and says that Michael Jordan is the number one player of all time because he scored a lot of points, Galaxy will say something like, but there were a lot of players who scored a lot of points, and he'll bring up different players who scored a lot of points, and then the Michael Jordan fan will proceed to change the topic to something else that they think that will help Michael Jordan in the debate. Next, if you don't pick Michael Jordan as the number one player of all time, they will say things like, you don't know your NBA, and they will proceed to try and give you a history lesson on Michael Jordan, and they will go on and on and on and on and on and on about his greatness and all of the moves he did and the highlights that they remember from his career. And it will be a 2-hour sob story that you will be listening to, which doesn't prove any of his greatness. They don't say any facts that show why Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time. They just point things out from their emotional connection from being a child or a young adult watching Michael Jordan, which really doesn't help Michael Jordan's debate and the GOAT conversation. Next, they will proceed to insult your intelligence if you don't pick Michael Jordan as the number one NBA player of all time. And if you debate on that point, they will instantly insult you, say that you're brain dead or schizophrenia, as some viewers have said about Universe Galaxy on this channel who are Michael Jordan fans, and they will proceed to attack you personally and call you all types of names, as I mentioned, like they did to Universe Galaxy. It is very disrespectful and pointless to do that over a man that they don't even know, and who doesn't even know that they're alive and doesn't know of any of his fans' existence, and doesn't really want to deal with anybody in the public, even if you buy his shoes. And he doesn't even wear shoes in the first place. The next thing is they will proceed and act like they won the debate when they are cornered. When you present Michael Jordan fans with facts, solid proofs as to why Michael Jordan isn't the greatest of all time, they will instantly act like they won the debate, and they will just proceed to talk you down and roast you, say disrespectful, mean things about you, and act like they won the debate without presenting any solid proof of why Michael Jordan is the number one player of all time. Next, as some of the debaters that have gone on Galaxy's podcast have done, they will admit that they are wrong about some of the things that they were being shown and taught by the media and older people in their lives about Michael Jordan being the number one player of all time. So, in that case, they will agree with Galaxy and be like, maybe I was wrong, maybe I was brainwashed, and they will admit, they will accept their defeat. The beliefs. Number 1. They believe that Michael Jordan is the number one player of all time and that nobody could ever touch him, not even if their resume is better than Michael Jordan's. Next, Michael Jordan have had the deepest desire to win other than any other player of all time. Does anybody find it weird that Michael Jordan fans are the only ones that believe this flat out lie when there are other players who played in NBA history that really wanted to win and wanted to win? No, probably worse than Michael Jordan ever wanted to win. Kobe Bryant pushed himself to exhaustion, and after games he would go and just shoot until like 4 o'clock in the morning. And Kobe Bryant used to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and go and do workouts. That shows me a deep desire to win. Kevin Garnett motivated his teammates, had that very deep desire to win. Michael Jordan is not the only guy who wanted the deepest and who had the deepest desire to win. What about Larry Bird, Magic Johnson? These Michael Jordan fans, they only want to make Michael Jordan seem like the guy who wanted to have it the deepest, because they know that it helps their debate. It makes Michael Jordan look good compared to the guy you're trying to debate against, which in essence they will find a way to tear him down. Next, they believe that the Wizards years when Michael Jordan came back from his second retirement don't count, which is a flat out lie. Michael Jordan was out there competing on the floor, and as long as you're competing on the floor, no matter if you're old or young, you're still an NBA player, and your stats still count. So, Wizards years do count. Another thing they like to do is that they like to say things like LeBron James Lakers years don't count. But like I said, when you bring up, they do say LeBron James Lakers years don't count, but they like to make fun of these years and say that that's the reason why LeBron sucks. But when you bring up Michael Jordan's Wizards years, they try to act like I mentioned, that they don't count because Michael Jordan was old. Well, LeBron James is old, so why does his years count but Michael Jordan's doesn't? Michael Jordan was the best player on his team and won MVP every year. Next, there are no players in today's NBA that can match Michael Jordan or be better than him, and that Michael Jordan is the most skilled player of all time, and he's more skilled than any player today. Next, they believe Michael Jordan's the number one player of all time because he sold the most shoes, and he was in the most commercials. Next, 6 rings make a player the greatest of all time and make a player better than another player. That is absolutely false. Rings do not matter when we are comparing two players together. Rings do not say whether or not a player is better than another player. You can say a guy like Brian Scalabrine. It's like saying essentially like a guy like Brian Scalabrine, just because he won a ring, he's better than a guy like Chris Paul or Carmelo Anthony. That's wrong. So how is Michael Jordan better than a guy like Wilt Chamberlain? Just because with Wilt, who had more stats, he had better stats than Michael Jordan, and he might have won 2 rings, but he's not considered better than Michael Jordan because he only won 2 rings. We're going off of rings now? That makes no sense. In essence, thank you all for watching the video. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel and to show support. Anyway, I'm out.